Hey everyone, welcome back to the Auto UK. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most charming and imaginative vehicles to hit the streets in 2025, the Retro Camper Tricycle. Combining the best of classic design, modern electric performance, and tiny home innovation, the Retro Camper Tricycle is making waves among adventurers, city explorers, and nostalgic dreamers alike. It's more than just transportation, it's a complete lifestyle statement. And today, we're going to explore every single detail. At first glance, the Retro Camper Tricycle looks like it's been lifted straight from a 1950s postcard. It blends old-school styling cues with clever modern engineering. The rounded edges, the polished chrome accents, the pastel color options, everything about it screams vintage cool. But beneath that charming retro shell, it's packed with 21st-century tech designed for today's travel needs. The designers behind the Retro Camper Tricycle clearly wanted to capture the magic of simpler times while also addressing modern environmental and practical concerns. It's fully electric, extremely lightweight, and cleverly compact, allowing it to navigate both bustling city streets and winding country lanes with ease. Let's start with the design. The front half is styled like a classic tricycle, with a wide handlebar and a large headlamp that looks like it belongs on a vintage scooter. The front wheels are fat and robust, giving it excellent stability. You immediately notice the bright, cheerful paint, options like mint green, buttercream yellow, baby blue, and even a rich cherry red. Each color option pairs with a white roof and chrome trim that glints in the sun. The cabin, or camper pod, attached to the rear is where things get really interesting. It's a fully enclosed, teardrop-shaped pod with a retro flair. Think Airstream meets Vespa. Polished aluminum side panels, cute circular windows with curtains, and a tiny rear door with a retro-style handle. Every detail has been designed to evoke the golden age of travel, when the journey itself was as magical as the destination. Inside the pod, there's a miniature camper setup that's surprisingly functional. Despite the compact size, it packs a cozy sleeping area, a pull-out kitchenette, some clever storage compartments, and even a small solar-powered ventilation system. You get a convertible bench that folds into a bed big enough for one adult, or snugly for two if you don't mind cuddling. The mattress is surprisingly plush, covered in retro-patterned fabric that matches the curtains and seat cushions. The kitchenette is minimalist but practical. You get a tiny sink with a 5-liter water tank, a portable electric stove, and a mini fridge that runs off the Trike's battery. There's also a fold-out table that you can set up inside or outside depending on the weather. 2 stools tuck away neatly underneath. In terms of storage, the Retro Camper Tricycle has really maximized every inch. You get cubby holes under the bench, netted pockets on the walls, and overhead racks that can hold lightweight items. There's even a hidden compartment under the kitchenette for valuables or heavier gear. Now, onto performance. The Retro Camper Tricycle is powered by a 750-watt hub motor paired with a 48-volt lithium-ion battery. On a full charge, you can expect a range of around 50 miles, depending on load, terrain, and riding style. Top speed caps at about 20 miles per hour, which might not sound like much, but it feels perfectly suited to the laid-back vibe this tricycle promotes. Charging is simple. Plug it into any standard household outlet, and it'll recharge fully in about 5 hours. There's also regenerative braking, meaning every time you slow down, you're putting a little juice back into the battery. For those who want to go off-grid for longer stretches, the optional solar roof panel can trickle charge the battery during daylight hours, extending your adventure without needing a plug. Riding the Retro Camper Tricycle is an experience in itself. It's not about speed or aggressive handling, it's about relaxing, enjoying the ride, and soaking in your surroundings. The Trike has pedal assist modes too, so if you want to get a bit of exercise, you can switch off the throttle and start pedaling. But when you just want to cruise, the electric motor does all the work. Comfort has clearly been a big focus. The front suspension smooths out bumps nicely, and the seating position is upright and relaxed. Even the grips on the handlebars are cushioned in a soft leatherette material that feels great in your hands. The cockpit includes a simple digital display that shows speed, battery life, and trip distance. Safety hasn't been forgotten either. The Retro Camper Tricycle comes with hydraulic disc brakes front and rear for solid stopping power. The lighting system includes a bright headlamp, brake lights, and turn indicators. And because it's a relatively large, brightly colored vehicle, you're highly visible to other road users, which is always a plus. Who's this for? Well, that's where it gets really interesting. The Retro Camper Tricycle appeals to a surprisingly wide range of people. Urban commuters looking for a fun, efficient way to get around the city love it. Digital nomads see it as a portable tiny home perfect for short trips or even longer travels with a few modifications. Retirees adore the nostalgic design and easy operation. Even hardcore camping enthusiasts are finding ways to integrate the Retro Camper Tricycle into their lifestyle as a secondary vehicle for local explorations. Customization options are extensive too. Buyers can choose from different color schemes, add roof racks, side awnings, solar upgrades, upgraded batteries for longer range, and even deluxe interior packages with higher-end finishes like bamboo flooring and premium fabrics. Some are even opting for custom paint jobs and decals to make their Retro Camper Trike truly one of a kind. Price-wise, the Retro Camper Tricycle isn't exactly cheap, but it's certainly more affordable than a car or a full-size campervan. Base models start at around £6,500, with fully loaded versions climbing to around £8,000. When you think about what you're getting, a stylish, eco-friendly mini camper that can double as a daily runabout, it actually starts to look like pretty good value. Running costs are minimal, electricity is cheap, maintenance on electric trikes is famously low, and insurance, if you even bother to get it, is a fraction of what you'd pay for a car. And let's not forget the biggest savings: no fuel costs and, depending on where you live, potentially no registration fees either. Now, a few caveats. This isn't a highway vehicle. You're sticking to city streets, country roads, and bike paths. It's built for cruising, not long-distance speed. Also, the camper pod, while incredibly clever, is still quite small. Tall folks over 6 feet might find it a little cramped for sleeping. And because it's a tricycle, sharp cornering at speed needs a little care to avoid tipping. Still, for most users, these are small trade-offs compared to the incredible freedom and charm the Retro Camper Tricycle delivers. You can wake up beside a lake, sip your morning coffee at a scenic overlook, or just park up in your local park for an impromptu picnic. The Retro Camper Trike invites you to slow down, appreciate the journey, and rediscover the joy of travel at a human pace. Another thing to love is how easy it is to store and park. You don't need a driveway or special parking permits. If you live in a flat or a small house, you can often fit it into a regular bike shed or a secure garden corner. Some models even come with optional wheel locks and GPS trackers for extra security. The company behind the Retro Camper Tricycle has also made a real effort towards sustainability. The frame materials are mostly recycled aluminum. The camper shell uses eco-friendly insulation made from recycled plastic bottles. And for every Retro Camper Trike sold, the company plants 10 trees through a global reforestation partnership. It's a small but meaningful touch that aligns perfectly with the spirit of eco-conscious adventure. And of course, there's the undeniable social factor. Wherever you go with a Retro Camper Tricycle, you attract smiles, curious questions, and often, spontaneous conversations. It's impossible to be invisible when you're riding one of these. Whether you're heading to the beach, a music festival, a farmer's market, or just down to your local coffee shop, the Retro Camper Tricycle transforms every outing into a small adventure. There's something magical about moving at this slower, more thoughtful pace. It reminds us that sometimes, the best journeys aren't the ones measured in miles, but in moments. Watching the world roll by from the seat of a Retro Camper Tricycle makes you realize how much beauty we miss when we're speeding past in sealed-up cars. Some users have even started customizing their Retro Camper Trikes for specific purposes: mobile art studios, pop-up coffee carts, mini bookstores, you name it. The possibilities are really only limited by imagination. With a few modifications, it's easy to tailor the Retro Camper Tricycle to fit unique business ideas or personal passions. If you're thinking about whether it's practical for everyday life, consider this: grocery shopping, commuting to work, visiting friends, weekend camping. The Retro Camper Trike handles all of it with a surprising degree of flexibility. Sure, it won't replace a full-size family car for everyone, but for many people, it covers most daily trips without ever needing to visit a petrol station. In a world that's increasingly fast, crowded, and noisy, there's something incredibly refreshing about slowing down and traveling differently. The Retro Camper Tricycle isn't just a new kind of vehicle, it's an invitation to rediscover your city, your countryside, and even yourself in a whole new way. And that's what makes the 2025 Retro Camper Tricycle such an exciting development. It's not about chasing speed or showing off luxury. It's about connection, to the places you visit, to the people you meet, and to the simple joy of getting there under your own power, in your own time, with a smile on your face. So, if you're craving a new kind of adventure, one where the journey matters as much as the destination, the Retro Camper Tricycle might just be your perfect companion.